playing chords and playing scales isn't really all that different, right? The only difference between playing chords and scales is with chords we have a bunch of notes at one time, and with scales we have notes kind of appearing sequentially. But when people talk about different chord voicings and more complex chord voicings, if we're talking about like a voicing for a C7 that's going to work as a traditional C7, C7 is giving us root third 5 7. In that scale, in the Mixolydian scale, sorry, root third 5 flat 7, I should say. There's also a 2, there's also a 4, there's also a 6. Other voicings of that chord that are not simply an inversion of those first four notes are just going to take one or more of those three notes from that scale that we didn't play in the chord and sub them in. We can make the 5 a 6, we can make the 3 a 4, we can make the flat 7 a 6 if we want, right? So when you see kind of more complex chord voicings, right, like C7 with a ninth on top, it's just taking that second note of the scale that we didn't have in the basic chord and just adding it in on top. I think it's a good practice when you play a chord. Try and grab a scale in that position that is the sound of that chord. Okay, so it's dominant 7, which means it's Mixolydian. How would I play a Mixolydian scale without really moving my fingers out of this position too much, starting on that note? When I can look at the scale form, how do those notes I'm holding down and chord fit into that surrounding note form? If you're a more visual learner, you can write these down on like a fingerboard graph and just with like a highlighter or something, like there's my Mixolydian scale form. Here are the notes of the dominant 7th chord.